Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope that you are all feeling amazing for this Monday morning. I wanted to jump on live for day 4 of the 30 days of transformation. And I wanted you to introduce you to a concept that I was introduced to a little while ago, and it's really taken me a while to kind of understand what it truly meant and to start unlocking the patterns that it has in my life. So I wanted to bring forward this idea that the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. And that when we change the way that we do one particular thing, then that change can actually have a flow on effect into other areas of our life. Now, when I was kind of introduced to this, I thought, well, that can't be possible. Like, the way that I do business has got to be different to the way that I do exercise and has got to be different to the way that I do washing. Like, how can it be that the way we do one thing is the way that we do everything? But what I really started to realize when I looked at my own life is that there was definitely some truth to that statement. And recognizing the patterns of how I do things has really helped me to be able to unlock what it is that I want to do differently and how that shows up in a lot of different places in my life. And then it's also allowed me to see that when I work on one area of my life, it can have an amazing flow and effect to other areas of my life too, which is equally amazing. So let me give you a little bit of an example um, of how this has kind of played out for me and how making some small changes in the way that I do things has translated across lots of different areas of my life and has allowed me to feel more positive about quite a few of the different things that I do each week. So let me give you a bit of an example. So one of the patterns that I noticed that was playing out in my business is that I tend to love to just get in and smash out a whole lot of work in a really short period of time and be super productive. But that often before that sort of period of productiveness, there can be quite a lot of procrastination and quite a lot of doing stuff that isn't that important, and also quite a lot of adding things to my to-do list and watching my to-do list get longer and longer and longer and longer. And then a bit of anxiety kind of kicks in, and I get a bit stressed about my to-do list, and deadlines kind of get looming. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, okay, now I've got to do all the things, and I will just smash in and get, you know, a lot done in a very short period of time. Maybe in a couple of hours, what someone else might spend a couple of days doing. Now, when I first realized that this was a pattern, that was playing out, I was very tempted to attach a whole lot of meaning to that around, why do I procrastinate? Why do I leave everything to the last minute? Um, and create all of these negative stories around the fact that that is the way that I work. So the first thing that I did was actually think about some of the positives of working like that. So the first positive of working like that is that when I do finally sit down to get things done, I have a long list of things ready to go, and I can literally just smash through that list of things. There's no, oh, do I need to do this or do I need to do that? Because literally there's a list and it needs to be done right then and there. So that makes it quite easy to know what it is that I need to do when I do finally get around to it. So that's definitely a positive thing. The second positive thing that I took from analyzing this situation and the way that I work and the way that I do things is I really felt grateful for how productive I can be in a very short period of time. So I really realized that I could get a lot done in a couple of hours, and that had served me really well in business and in life because I was juggling so many balls. And so being able to just jump in and get super productive and get shit done basically really was serving me well when it came to getting through the things that I needed to get done and having time to kind of put all the pieces of my life together. So I wanted to share that with you because so often when we recognize a pattern of the way we do something, we can get into these really negative stories about what that pattern means and how it's bad and how it needs to be changed and all of those kinds of things. But another way to kind of look at that and another kind of shift for that is to actually have a look and think, okay, so maybe long term I'm on a road for being a bit burnt out and I don't want to continue to do everything the way that I've been doing it. But there was some really good lessons in that and some really productive parts of that. And if I had just decided to totally change the way that I was doing and make it totally negative that I was the kind of person that would procrastinate, build a massive to-do list and then have to smash it out, I would have missed out on the opportunity to see the two good things. One, that I had a list, which meant I could just work through that list. There was no umming and ahhing about what I needed to do. And two, that I'd proven to myself time and time again that I could get a lot done in a very short period of time. Now, to circle back to my original message for this live, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So once I started to see that pattern in my business, I could also see that pattern playing out in what I do around the house. So I am definitely the kind of person that will love to let the washing pile up and pile up and pile up. And then all of a sudden in the space of the day, I can get a crap load of washing done, everything organized, everyone's cupboards back the way they're supposed to be, all the loads of washing done, get some ironing done. Basically, I can smash out all the things in a very short period of time. Another place where that pattern pans out for me is in the kitchen. So I really don't enjoy cooking dinner every night. Okay, quite a lot of nights my partner cooks, but I have noticed that I do love to have a list of meals to cook to get into the freezer for the nights when people aren't home or we've got after school activities or we know that we're going to be pushed for time. And so I can get into the kitchen on a Sunday afternoon and I can literally put 20 meals in the freezer. Just smash them out, cook them up into the freezer. That's a pretty good skill. And it's also another place where this idea of how you do one thing is how you do everything kind of plays out, because not only am I doing things in that kind of process in my business, I'm doing it when it comes to things around the house like the washing and the cooking. So what I really want you to do today is start to think about the patterns of how you do things and about how maybe you do something in your business and you can see that pattern playing out in home life. Or maybe you have a pattern for the way that you eat and that also plays out in the way that you exercise. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do pretty much everything. And when you start to make changes, those changes can actually occur across the different things that you're doing, which means that you don't have to be focused on changing all the things. You can literally just be focused on changing one thing. In my case, I have focused on changing the way that I do business to take the pressure off myself, to reduce the amount of time that I'm procrastinating, and also to avoid ending up burnt out, because that was what was happening when I was leaving everything and then having to smash out all the work. And as I've been making changes with that, I've also seen changes to the way I do food. I've also seen changes to the way I do laundry. I've also seen changes to the way I do exercise, to the way I do my mindset work, pretty much to every part of my life. So take some time today and have a think about what is the pattern of how you do things? What are the great things about that? What are the amazing lessons and insights into yourself that you can take away from that? And then what parts of that are maybe not what you would want to do, and where can you make small changes? And then watch how that small changes in one or two places will play out across all different facets of your life. Making changes can be so small and so simple, but so powerful and so impactful. So I wanted to share that with you today. Let me know down below, what's your pattern for doing things? What do you love about that pattern? What you don't like about that pattern? And maybe an example of where you've made a small change in one area in your life and it's ultimately ended up affecting so much more in a powerful way. All right, that is it for day 4 of the 30 days of transformation. The way you do one thing is the way you do pretty much everything. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye.